Have you ever felt the cold grip of dread wrap around you like a thick fog? I remember the summer of 1997 vividly. The heat clung to the air, but it wasn't just the temperature that sent chills down my spine. No, it was the night I stumbled upon the last game. Picture this: a restless teenager, desperate for something more than the mundane routine of my small town. One sweltering night, I found myself wandering the streets. The moonlight cast eerie shadows, and every sound felt amplified. My heart pounded in my chest like a drum. As I turned a corner, something unusual caught my eye. There, almost hidden, between two crumbling buildings, was a narrow alleyway, a secret, waiting to be uncovered. A dark urge tugged at me, pulling me closer. The last game. I hesitated at the entrance. The windows were coated with dust, and unnatural silence surrounded the place. Something felt wrong, like I had slipped into a different time, or a darker world. But curiosity, it always got the better of me. Inside, the air was thick, suffocating, filled with the scent of burnt wires and decay. Only a few machines flickered weakly, their screens cracked, their controls worn. But there, in the corner, was a machine that stood apart. It pulsed with an unnatural light, alive. Symbols adorned its cabinet, twisting as if they were breathing. A handwritten sign taped to the front read, "Play if you dare." I dropped a quarter into the slot, and the screen hummed to life. But what appeared next was nothing like I'd ever seen before. The character selection screen revealed faces twisted in terror, eyes wide with silent screams. And then I saw it, an avatar that looked exactly like me. Every detail was there, right down to the nervous twitch of my eye. It felt like the game had scanned my very soul. I instinctively selected the character. The game began with my avatar trapped in a maze, walls glistening with something damp and fleshy. Shadows darted in and out of view, creatures lurking in my deepest nightmares. Then, horror set in. The maze transformed into a twisted version of my neighborhood. Landmarks I recognized, all distorted and grotesque. And then it appeared, a grotesque face, eyes blazing with rage. It leaned closer, its voice a chilling whisper. "You cannot hide. I see you." My heart raced. I whipped around, expecting to find someone behind me. But the arcade was empty. The silence suffocated me. I turned back to the screen. My avatar was staring right at me, mimicking my every move. Shadows from the game began to seep out, creeping toward me. I felt an icy chill wash over me. I tried to reach for the controls, but my hand slipped through like it was smoke. Suddenly, the screen cracked open. A cold, bony hand shot out, gripping my wrist with a vice-like force. I screamed, but no sound came out. The machine yanked me closer, its icy touch spreading up my arm. "You're not leaving," the game hissed, its voice echoing around me. I panicked, trying to pull away. The arcade warped, twisting, as if being sucked into a void. My reflection stared back at me from the screen, eyes wide with horror, shadows lunging at me, and then darkness. When I regained consciousness, I found myself lying on the pavement outside. The neon sign was gone. The alleyway vanished without a trace. I staggered to my feet, heart still racing, but the streets were disturbingly quiet. as if nothing had ever been there. Days turned into weeks, and life went on. But something had changed. Late at night, in the silence of my room, I'd catch faint sounds, muffled arcade music drifting through the walls. Shadows seemed to linger just a little too long, whispers brushing against my ears, too soft to be words. Then, one night, a coin appeared on my desk. Old, dusty, its edges worn. I knew, deep down, that I'd never really left that arcade, that some part of me was still inside the game, lost in that dark maze, and now, something from that world had found its way into mine. And every time I try to forget, every time I close my eyes, I feel it there, watching, waiting, like a memory I'll never be able to shake, as if I'm still playing. Only now, the game isn't over. I can still hear it, waiting,